The O'Reilly Auto Parts Summer Nationals as we get ready to go with funny car on the line. Jim Head and Jeff Arend, and then shortly we will see what we expect to be a huge matchup. Robert Height and Ron Capps.
Well, and we talk about that big matchup, but right here, these two drivers, Jim Head and Jeff Arend, they deserve to be here in the semifinals. Both cars and both drivers have been doing a good job to get to this point. Like we said, cloud covers probably helped Jeff Arend quite a bit because John Oberhofer, the crew chief there, definitely seems to have a better handle on that car when the track is a little bit tight. Good race.
Oh, big explosion for Jim Head's car. Body comes off. Arend obviously takes the win line. He gets into the back of Jeff Arend.
Jim couldn't see where he was going at that point. Huge explosion. All the parts and fire up in Jim's face.
Parachute wrapped around the cockpit for a bit there, but look at the movement. Looks like Jim is okay. He is. He's going to climb out of that car.
That's great to see. And Jeff should be okay. It wasn't a big hit from behind, but boy, that was a big explosion.
And they're going to rush down, try and get Jeff Arend's car away from all of that, make sure that it doesn't have any damage because it's going to go to a final.
Well, the drivers had identical reaction times, and they were pretty much locked together. Jim Head might have been slightly ahead of Jeff Arend before the big explosion. It was going to be a close race. It might have gone to Jim and had the thing not blown up before the finish, but boy, look at that.
Wow.
You talk about a boomer. Wow, rear wheels right off the ground, too. Like I said, they were side by side up to that boom, disintegrated that Toyota body. Like you say, you can see the fire. Jim cannot see where he's going. He's just trying to get that thing stopped at that point. Just kind of noses it into the back of Jeff Arend's car. But it looks like both drivers should be okay.
And so, like we said, the question is going to be what kind of damage are we talking about on Jeff Arend's car?
Yeah, they'll definitely.
It wasn't that hard to hit, but something's going to be there. Look at that. Look at the body going to the air.
Yeah. Well, they'll have to go back and look at Jeff Arend's car and evaluate it. And like I said, it wasn't that big of a hit. You know, if anything, it might have hurt the mounting tree that's behind the driver compartment that mounts the body, you know, and they might have to replace that, which a lot of times they can do that between rounds.
G-Man, you've got Jeff Arend.
Jeff just walked away from the car. Any idea how much damage to the back of your car?
You know, I didn't really look at it. Looking from here, I had a flat tire, wheelie bars broken. It didn't really feel all that hard, but, you know, cars aren't really made like a normal passenger car, so we'll get a good look at it and try to fix it up. It's too bad the DHL car is running great, you know what I mean? So just want to tell Winnie and Jenna I'm fine, so all's cool there. Going to the final, which is good, so let's see if we can get it all fixed up.
Yeah, a lot of work for this team, it appears. They're assessing as we continue to speak, and we'll get a word with Jim Head shortly. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, no problem. Thanks.
Boy, every time I see that just is so frightening to see the flames trail back over the cockpit of the car. But you can see Jim Head on the far right there, helmet off. He's okay. Doesn't appear to be happy, but he is okay.
Well, yeah, Jim Head obviously doesn't like to blow up the parts on that race car. And more than likely what happened was a mechanical failure. Might have broke a crankshaft or might have dropped a valve or something like that because he had a pretty good tune-up on the race car. Jim has not been hurting very many parts the last couple of seasons in that buddy car.
Yeah, looking under the body of Jeff Arend's car, body itself looks good. Like Jeff said, wheelie bars are an issue.
Yeah, but, you know, wheelie bars are, I mean, they're not made to withstand any kind of impact. And a wheelie bar, that's not that big of a deal. And if it goes underneath the body, looks like he may be okay.
Another look. Jim Head, look at that car come apart. The flames wash back over the cockpit, and you say, how can anyone survive that? And then Jim Head climbs out of the car, and look at him right away. After he stands up in the seat, he acknowledges the crowd, and he is tough. In Topeka, Kansas, watch the car in the left lane, Jim Head. That's one big explosion. Then the car hit the back of Jeff Arend. The good news is Jim climbed out and is with Gary Gerald.
Jim Head, fortunately, is okay, and he's smiling as usual after a very frightening incident. What's it like? Have you ever experienced something like that in your long career?
Oh, maybe one that was close. I burned a tire off way back when, but that one we had these good fire systems and everything. I got to tell you, these cars are so safe, it's remarkable. Had I not hit Jeff, you know, we'd have been fine. I just couldn't see anything, and then I hit Jeff, and things weren't fine then. But fire went out then, so it's probably a good thing I hit something. But yeah, you just go dead blind in there, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a really conservative racer, and that's my first.
And this car was really working well today, too. That's such a shame.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, we don't have a spare car either, so that really kind of stinks. But we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
So when the fire washes over you like that, Mike, what's it like?
Well, it gets plenty warm in there, trust me. And even though you have all the fire protection and everything, and the biggest thing is your hands, because you're out there with the handles trying to get everything stopped. But now they have the shrouds going over the steering, and that's really helped alleviate a lot of that in the funny car fires.
And back in Jeff Arend's pits, they have to get whatever damage was caused, and it didn't seem like much done. This is a Copart Fix-It pit report as they work on that car, Mike.
Well, you're going to have your normal crew guys that are going to do their general maintenance, you know, change the engine or change pistons, whatever needs to be done there. The driveline, and probably what happens, some of the other Coletta team members will come over and they'll attack the back of that car to survey the damage, what needs to be done. It looks like they're changing the back tree back here. That's what holds the body up there. The wheelie bars obviously was hurt on that run too, so they'll assess all that damage, and if it's not, as long as the chassis is straight, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and of course that's always the fear, though, that there's some small thing that in the rush to get it back and ready to go that you miss something.